Hello everyone, we are live for VDRL Monza. I'm Nedzo, and I hope that I'm going to be joined by Jale later on during qualifying, but he said he's going to be back at a certain point. So, yeah, hello everyone, it's going to be hopefully an interesting day. Monza always provides good entertainment in VDRL, so I hope today is nothing different as we load into the qualifying session. So yeah, we're here at the Temple of Speed, the fastest circuit in Formula 1, even though it's got two very annoying chicanes, and I'll tell you what, they won't be going at the fastest speeds in F1 history because it's raining in qualifying. The 18 drivers, there's only 18 drivers, will be trying to navigate what looks like an intermediate level rain in track, an intermediate level of rain on the track. So we've got your usual candidates for racing here. You've got little Tom, and we've got little Tom, Talhard, Jix, Toto, Remus, Don't Play Zero, Damian, Ozanizik, Gold, Mavis, Throwball, Kevin and Rajic. We've also got some new people. Let me just check. Yep, so we've got some new people. They seem to be Spanish, all of them. I assume Javito Quiler is Spanish. We've got Daniel Llorente, Marquitos, and Juanjo Pro 5787. Because believe it or not, I can't say five. I mean, I could say cinco siete, ocho siete, but I'm not going to say that because it does not roll off the tongue as well as 5787. But yeah, we have drivers coming out onto the circuit now. On the intermediate tyres, we have one of the Haas drivers. I think that was Juan, who we were just on board with. And he's getting raced out of the pit lane. The V-carb / whatever you want to call it is beaten. That's Llorente. So the two Spaniards dueling here on their outlap. They'll be getting a feel for these conditions, very similar to what Sebastian Vettel had to deal with in his first Grand Prix victory weekend here at Monza a full 16 years ago now. So that was 16 years ago. That's actually quite mad. And Sebastian Vettel got his first ever Grand Prix win. And it was in conditions similar to these where he managed to win the race. I mean, it was also, I think, a change in conditions qualifying. But I'm hoping it's going to stay wet for the entire session because it does produce interesting results usually. Daniel Llorente will be the first person who we will see cross the line to start his lap, I think. He has one of the Red Bulls behind him, which I think is Rajic. No, there's only one Red Bull. I never know Red Bull. It's Toto as well. So the two Spaniards will be the first people to cross the line, and then you've got the likes of Kevin, who's kind of backing off. But let's go on board with Daniel Llorente and see how good the new guy is on his first lap. He's very tentative on the throttle, smooth and concise. And he comes up to the start-finish line to start his opening lap. All the way up to 8th gear already, exceeding 200 miles an hour. Probably has a bit more downforce on than he usually would in normal qualifying conditions. He's gone straight on. He just missed his braking point completely. So let's go on board with Rajic instead, who did manage to make the corner. What a shame from Daniel there, because that could have been a good lap from him. He keeps out of the way of Rajic as the other Spaniard goes through Curva Grande and up towards the second Rettifilio chicane. Now in dry qualifying, you'd be bouncing all over those curves, but you're a lot more tentative in rainy conditions. Now in towards the first Lesmo, probably turned in a bit too early there, but and also avoids the exit curve, whereas in the dry you'd be straddling all over that. Same with the second Lesmo. Now coming through the Curva di Saraglio, and up towards the Ascari chicane, turns in, and probably a little bit early on the turn in, very close to invalidating there, but he's all over those curves because you kind of have to be, because it does cut a lot of distance off your lap if you're all over those curbs as opposed to not on them, even in the wet conditions. And now up towards Alboreto, which has been renamed. I think it was renamed in 2021 after it was initially called the Parabolica corner. He didn't have the best run out there, he was just kind of loose off the exit. A 1 minute 25.788. Can anyone else beat that? Kevin's at a 1 minute 25.994, so definitely not for him. Little Tom goes on 1 minute 26.9. One of the Hasses going up to the line. Juan in his first qualifying session, 2.2 seconds down at the moment. I think one of the McLarens has just started their lap. It was Damian who's just started one. Adumas finishes his lap on 1 minute 26.1. Very impressive from him to jump that far. Mayverse on a 1 minute 25.9. Mayverse has been up here occasionally, but never at that point where we'd expect him to be. Froebel up there, Jig's up there. Jig's only 2 tenths off the pole time. That maybe indicates that Rajic and Co, who are usually miles in front of the field, don't have that same advantage in the wet. They just don't have the confidence that they usually do. Marquitos seems to be struggling coming off the final corner. Jale has joined the commentary booth. Hello, my dear friend.
Hello, my other dear friend. Seems like we got a wet quali here tonight.
Yep. The timesheets are tumbling. Talha just going into P4. Adimas is just going to P6. Javito Kiler has gone into P7.
Have you talked about standings?
No, I haven't.
Alright, well, here we go. Alright, standings then. So, your standings, ladies and gentlemen, for the VDRL Tier Friday Season 6 in the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull is leading by an absolute landslide, 104 points to Williams. Williams then in a close battle with McLaren, who's only 2 points behind that, and Ferrari, who's only a further point behind that as well. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, well, as you would think, the 2 Red Bulls leading away. Rajic and Toto, they've been exchanging wings for pretty much the entire season, and 17 points separates them though, so Toto, he's going to need a good performance here tonight.
Toto is not set up currently, but Kevin has gone off. Kevin has, at the exit of the second chicane, hit the barriers, and luckily has, I don't see any damage somehow. Front plate damage.
Yeah, front left end plate.
So luckily he'll be able to come back to the pits, but that could have been colossal had he not done that. While we were speaking, Damian went up to P2, but the likes of Rajic and Kevin and Co, who are usually so far clear of everyone else, aren't that much. Like the top 8 are covered by 4 tenths. You don't usually see that in these VDRL lobbies. Toto's currently the only driver who hasn't set a lap. He's currently on a lap, so maybe he could.
Let's go with Toto then.
Yep. So the Red Bull man, fast and calm in this approach towards this lap. It's very tricky to get Monza right in the rain, because usually where you'd be all over the curbs, you just can't be, because the surface will not allow you to carry as much speed. For example, through Lesmo 1 lap, or in dry conditions, you'd be all over that curb. And the same in Lesmo, but the drivers just aren't, because they cannot risk getting spun out by a lack of grip as he comes up towards the sector 2 line and under the old banking.
Yeah, it's interesting because when I league race in the wet for qualifying, I want to do as many laps as possible, because like you said, times are tumbling. You want to get out there. You do not want to get caught out by someone in front of you. And Toto's taking the complete opposite approach there. He's just doing laps at the end of it, so he's not as warmed up or used to these wet conditions like the other guys who've already had, like I see 3 laps on some tires there, so I'm assuming he'll do quite a few runs on this set. That would certainly be the smartest thing to go, but he does go quickest by 8 tenths, so I will shut my mouth.
Yeah, that was a good lap from him. Didn't seem to find any mistakes. I do think that the track also did improve, because Rajic, I think, and Co set their times quite early. Even there was at least a few minutes difference between the likes of Rajic and the people behind him. So I think Jix set his time in the same sort of time frame as them. So watch out for him in the wet. I'm not sure if this game will be more to his liking. I know he was quick on F123, but yeah, it's looking good.
He's making his way back up to the pack.
Yeah, it seems that is the case. Rajic has just started a lap, so maybe we will see that. He's currently pounding his way down towards turn one. I'm not exactly sure why he's not on the complete outside of a corner yet, but maybe it's some sort of distance thing. He's down to third gear again. This is the one thing that I've seen with the F1 games in the past few years. The lower gears you just cannot use. In real life, you'll be down to first gear, no doubt, to get the car turned in, but you're in third gear in the F1 games. I know F1 22, I think, was famous for, like, you come out of Spa's bus stop in fourth gear because of the incredible wheel spin you get in the lower gears. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, Damien, he's just done his lap now, and it's looking good so far. Then we did say times was tumbling, but now it seems like the rain has started to pick back up in Sector 1, though. Just a tad bit then. Damien is up on his time by about a tenth, though, so that would put him onto the front row now, but he's still got some time to find, I reckon, if you compare it to when he just set his previous lap time. So he's just trying to pump out as many laps as possible here in qualifying tonight. You do have a good amount of inters to use, unlike wets, and I'm assuming the race will be dry, so some guys might have compromised on their setup a bit then, as Daniel Lorente is out, and definitely out of it, as he's left the session then, even before lights out.
Yeah. Rajic has just gone, I was following Rajic's lap time because it was 4 tenths up in the middle sector, just gone 22 thousandths of a second slower.
Oh, Mayverse!
Yeah, Mayverse up to the top, the first driver into the 1 minute 24s. This track is drying up. I can tell it is. It's constantly getting drier and drier. The more people are running up, the more people are running on the surface, the drier it's getting.
I was about to say, Mayverse, he's one of those guys in these conditions who can certainly be upset. I mean, we've seen him in the top 10 consistently throughout the past couple of seasons, and when it rains, it can be his day.
I will just point out, 3 drivers are on soft tyres right now. The Bird, Javito Kiler, and Little Tom are all on soft tyres.
Wow, well, I think it's still too wet. Sector 1, I mean, Sector 2 and 3, it's certainly drying, but Sector 1 through the Curva Grande, it's still quite wet there.
Yeah, we'll see what these drivers do. I mean, Javito Kiler has come straight into the pits on his outlap, so that does suggest maybe that it is a bit too...
way too early.
I mean, Little Tom is going for it, I think. I know. I thought Little Tom was going to go for it then.
Still 7 minutes left in quali, so I don't know why he went there. I mean, usually you would want to go at the very end of the session at the death of it, and you have 1 lap, that's it.
Mr. Bird is going for it on these soft tyres. I want to go on board with him so we can see what he's doing. I don't think he's going to be up to the level just yet, but he'll be the guinea pig, the testing mule for everyone. It doesn't look horrendous, I'll be honest. Like, I'd be expecting him to be wheel spinning all over the place like a bull in a china shop as Talha goes to the top, or goes to third place, sorry, in the standings. The Bird, he goes 42 thousandths off his previous time. But as you suggested, that's the most treacherous part of the circuit, I think. If he improves on his previous time, I think that's a big indicator to all the drivers as he does get a bit loose off the exit of Lesmo 1 and very much off Lesmo 2, but that's what's going to happen in the wet when you're trying these bold, audacious strategies. I wouldn't be surprised to see him improve on his own lap time through here, even though he hasn't. He's 5 tenths down.
Ooh, yeah.
Maybe, yeah, and with that, yeah, okay, maybe not. But I think it's getting close. I think by the end of the session, I think we'll be, if it continues as it is, I think we'll be...
It's not improving by a whole lot right now. Only about 10 through Sector 2. I mean, he needs 1/10, give or take, a bit more. But it's not the massive jump you would expect from him, considering, I mean, with the track drying up so quickly. I would imagine that... Oh, and now a snap of oversteer as well, so it's not a great lap. I imagine he will stay out there and try to finish it. Then will he improve on it? Yes, he does. So he's certainly got time to find him there.
If there wasn't a slide there, he would have got pole position. He's 30 thousandths off of that leading position. Had he not slid there, he would definitely be on provisional pole by now.
Yep.
Jix is coming up to start a lap. I mean, he's a second off of pole, which maybe does indicate...
Well, he hasn't set a lap yet with a big change in conditions.
That's fair enough.
And this one, the drivers, they don't know where the limit is. They don't know how much more they can push compared to their previous lap. It's a guesstimation game here, and right now Mayverse has absolutely nailed it, but we still have 4 minutes and 30 seconds left to go then as Jigs heads through sector 1 through the Curva Grande, and he's up but only by a tad bit. He's gonna need quite a bit more. He needs to find like 5/10 in the middle sector and a bit more in the final sector if he even wants a shout at the top 5 or so, or even the front row. I mean, I think we can see an upset. You see Tala up there as well. So this wet weather is certainly producing some entertainment.
Yeah, I want to see this middle sector split because this is the majority of where you gain your time, I'd say, on this lap.
Right here, through this
there you
corner.
go. 4/10, there you go. I think that... Oh! He saw the Sauber in front of him. I think...
Oh, and he's invalidated.
He has, so he can quickly try and conserve some ERS or just do another lap around if he's got
I think
the
he's
fuel.
going to do another lap around. He's committed to it.
Or come into the pits and then put a bolt on a new set of inters, and because he has got the time to do such a thing.
It depends on his fuel though. I think he's
going to come in. Yep.
It's going to be close with Jigs.
I think he's going to be fine.
The Vito Killer right now is up on his time though. He's currently in P12. He needs to find pretty much 2 seconds. Let's see if he can do it next though.
I don't think he'll be able to. He's one of the debutants, to be fair. So
okay. I mean, P12 not bad, you know. He's ahead of the likes of Don't Play Zero and Ozon.
Yep. You can just tell he's a bit tentative. I mean, I'm very tentative in wet conditions on this game because genuinely I've not seen a worse handling game in any conditions. And I played F122. Nicely done through Parabolica. People keep on latching onto that inside curb, but it keeps unsettling the car.
Yeah, you want to go for a different line there, a slightly earlier or later apex. And he goes up to P8 then. Don't Play Zero, his teammate, is up by 7/10 of a second as he's coming through sector 2 then. Bit of a sliding through the Scary Chicane then. And now he's only got one more corner to go. 7/10, that's a good jump. It would put him around P8, maybe even ahead of Jigs in P7. That would be certainly a huge jump, almost up 7 positions. And here we go. Through Parabolica, swaying away at the steering wheel, and he's got that guy is draining the battery, and this could be a solid lap from him, and he's up to P7 ahead of Jigs.
Yeah, I think once people start putting in times in these conditions, I think we might see that tumble. Kevin is also on a fast lap here, one of the only guy in the top 5 who's currently on a flyer. I think he might be trying to get a little banker in so that then he can go for a second one. Yep, 2 tenths up. All he needs to do is improve by that margin again in the next 2 sectors, and he's got pole position. But it's not that easy because it's not that easy because this track is going to keep improving, I think.
Yeah,
and I think the leaders, I think, are going to be also improving. So we need to watch out. Mayverse just got onto his lap.
Yeah. And I think this will be Kevin's last lap. He won't have enough time to go back around and charge his battery. So it's all or nothing for Kevin now. He's up by 8/10. It's all to play for here through the Scary Chicane. Nails it quite nicely. And he's got a bit of a slipstream from the RB in front of him there. As that's a lovely slipstream from, that was even a Red Bull there, I think. The colors are still fucking me on the minimap. Through the Parabolica then, does not get hooked onto the curb, instead he gets hooked onto just a load of grip or lack of grip there on the out wide by his on pole by 5/10, and that's gonna be his best effort. Toro's just started his lap. Martin, let's go on board with Mayverse as he's on a hot lap, and he's Mayverse is not gonna improve. Or wait, no, no, he can't. He can make it back, but there's a massive queue forming.
In that second sector there is going into Ascari. That's a nightmare for anyone who's going to be on a lap. Toto luckily shouldn't encounter such traffic.
He's got a Ferrari in front of him.
He does have a Ferrari in front of him.
Is that Kevin?
I think it might be, but that's the thing. I don't think that's going to bother him much. It is Kevin. So
Kevin, don't give him a slipstream, mate.
I mean, from that far back, I don't think he'll do so. The Bird goes impressively into P2,
wow.
Remus into P3. This is halting up because gaps are so minimal around the track like Monza. Even in the wet, they are extremely minimal.
Yep.
Clock has stopped. Drivers that will come to the end of their laps.
Toto 3/10 up in the middle sector, so just to cut in there, Martin, but he's really pushing it a bit too hard. Sliding through the scars. Now he's got a nice slipstream just like Kevin, and maybe a bit of a long range tow there, but he will get a bit of dirty and then through the parabolica. He needs to find half a second, so 2 more tenths in the final sector. This is very much doable. As we know, Kevin, he had a bit of a snap of overstay come through. Toro's also got one. Everyone's struggling for grip at the exit of the parabolica. Where will Toro go? And it's up into first place by 3/10 of a second.
Just keep watching those time sheets because people are going to keep improving. Jix will be the next to cross the line. He goes to P8. Then it'll be the Aston Martin who goes, don't play 0, will go up to P9. Not the best of results for him, but then the Haas boys, Marquitos and Juanjo, will come up to the start-finish. And what will they do? I mean, Marquitos won't improve, but Juanjo goes to P11 ahead of his teammate. Tar has just crossed the line. He doesn't improve his position. Then it will be the
Rajic could go on for pole here.
We could see Rajic on pole.
I think it's guaranteed Red Bull 1-2, I'd say, unless Mavers can pull something special out the bag. He's coming around Parabolica right now, I believe. Rajic across the line. P2, as I said. Mavers, nope, he's down and out of it. P6, then it is a Red Bull 1-2. Ramos is not going to improve.
Right, that's an interesting one. The Bird, in his first qualifying session, as I point out, P4.
Well, we're talking about tight gaps then, but in the end, the leader, and I mean both Rebels, a landslide ahead of Kevin, and then the Bird.
A landslide is not 2 tenths, I'm just saying.
In the wets?
In the wet, I argue it's even less of a landslide because wet tend to accentuate gaps between drivers. If half a second, I'd be like, fair enough, but there's a massive gap. Like, for example, Goldie XC needs to actually book his ideas up because being on a 1:31, I think would actually be outside of a 107% time if we had one.
Do the math. Run the numbers.
Let me just quickly go onto my calculator quickly. 84. Well, what was Toro's time or Reddit's time?
I think it was at 24-1. 24-1, I believe. Here it is. It's a 24-194. And
times by 1.07. So anything that's slower than a 1:30.08 is outside of 107% time. And he's on a 1:31. Jesus Christ.
Rajic P2, Kevin P3, the Bird, excellent qualifying for him in P4, and Ramos is in P5. Now the big question is, will it rain in the race?
Well, I'm not a fortune teller, so I won't be able to tell you, but I hope so, because races around Monza and VDRL, I mean, they're chaotic either way, because it's like watching a speedway race in NASCAR. It's insane. People slipstreaming each other, groups of 5 cars all trying to fight for one position.
Right, so, last season we had Sny on the podium, or was it Squatter? I think it was Sny. Test Saturday, I believe that was. Anyway, then here we go. Then Toro and Rajic, the 2 championship rivals, 17 points separates them. Toro is in a must-win situation. He cannot let Rajic outscore him. We're pretty much halfway through the season now, if I remember correctly, from what I've seen on the standings. Hold up, standings. Let me run the numbers real quick. Yeah, we're pretty much soon halfway through. Did we skip the Netherlands?
I'm not entirely sure. Hold on, let me just quickly have a look at the standings.
Because there's no number there for Netherlands, but we're in Monza.
No, we didn't skip the Netherlands. There's all
yeah, I'm just scrolled to it. Alright, yeah, cool. Yep, well, here we go then. We are on the grid now. It's 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. It's a Red Bull front row lockout. And it's lights out. And away we go. Then Rajic seems to get a good initial start. Then Toro's going to try and cut across, but he's not going to get the chance to cut across as Rajic is there on his inside. And Rajic is there and ahead of him going into turn 1. What a start from the Spaniard in the Red Bull. In the background, the Bird and Kevin side by side through turns 1 and 2. The 2 McLarens are also having at it. And luckily, everyone survived so far, but Rajic is clear and away. Toro's not going to try and let him get past him, draining the battery, the pair of them in the slipstream down. Toro has a look on the inside. Behind then, it seems like the McLarens are still fighting away with the Mercedes, and this contact between the 2 McLarens. It's a civil war down there.
It might be a civil war down there, but it's not a civil war between the Red Bulls. They're working together, it seems, on this opening lap. They're pulling a nice little gap on the cars behind. It's so important to do such a thing in these early laps at Monza because you only have the 1 lap to get out of DRS range. I don't think they're going to be able to do so. but they could easily bump draft each other. They're basically going line astern. You couldn't get any closer between the two. I wouldn't be surprised.
Killer and Juan Cuerpo has been spun round at the exit of a sky. Narrowly misses the wall there as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the Red Bulls haven't worked together even more and just burned to the DRS to try and get out of DRS range, because now it's going to be tricky to do so. Look at these cars.
Oh wait, Toro got back past the head of Rajic somewhere?
I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, the Bird has decided to. He's going to go and try and make moves as well up into P3. Could easily send him to the inside. He is on the inside.
Look up, double look up. Where are they? There they are, still side by side. Look at the Mercedes in the background, just looking to get involved. But it's the two Mercedes, then the two McLarens, then you've got Jiggs on the Hods, and then Daniel Lorente rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, it is. The thing is, though, everyone down to 15th is still within DRS zone of the car in front, and there's a train from 1st to 15th. Daniel Llorente and Jiggs fighting very hard over 9th place. What you don't want to do is fight so hard over a position that you can't then keep in the DRS of the car in front. Toto has managed to pull clear of Rajic.
But
so
Rajic's going to pull back up the DRS here, I would imagine. Unless the Bird's quite far behind, and Kevin's actually closer to the Bird than the Bird is to Rajic. But Toto certainly pushing now in these early stages of the Grand Prix. Then as the cars make their way through the Scar chicane, what an angle we had there, man. See them snailing their way through there and onto the straight, and someone's gone off there in the background. That's a heavy hit. Or was that a netcode issue? Someone certainly went off there.
That was
maybe it was just a bit of lag
in the background. I think he went off, but it was enough to recoup it and regain the car. Toto fastest lap again. Damian and Remus going side by side down the front stretch, exceeding 200 miles an hour. Bird and Rajic doing a similar thing. Bird into P2. Remus defends his position and keeps the place, but he's going to have Damian going round his outside. That was close.
Look at the switch back from Tala there, looking to get involved as well. Well, it was certainly a late defensive move from Remus there to the inside, back to the racing line, then all fair in game, but look at how close it is, Nezo. This is exactly what we were expecting.
Yep, Remus backing Damian up. He's not going to get in the DRS zone again unless he can absolutely go hell for leather in these corners. It's going to be a bit late, I think, to do that. This is the problem. When you go side by side through a sequence of corners, you lose so much time that the DRS will fall out.
Go back up to each other. But right now, Remus is looking. I think he will get swamped as he does not have any DRS. The McLarens on the outside and on the inside. Instead, it's only going to be one McLaren of Tala going on the outside, but off the track, and he needs to give that place back. But now look at that, Damien gets a good run onto his teammate, onto this slow straight here where there's no DRS, of course. Look at the slipstream, both of them harvesting their battery. Damien looking to get past the Mercedes as well. The two McLarens working beautifully together. It seemed like in the opening stages they were fighting, but now they found the ground. Yellow flag in sector 3, that's a stake Sauber F1 car which has spun in the Scottish chicane.
Gold. It's gold. And Rajic and Toto fighting over the lead. They've had 3 cars fighting over the lead. All Bird, Rajic and Toto going for it, but Rajic has managed to hold off the feisty Williams, who is trying to make an impression on his debut. Remus and Damian and Talha also fighting over the minor points placings. How close do you want to be? This is genuinely some fantastic racing. As Talha remains in P7, but I think we're going to see Damian go up the inside. You've got the better line going into the second chicane, and he's not used it so much.
Well, there's contact.
He's not used it to really. He needed to get further alongside going into the corner. I mean, he's managed to get through, but nonetheless, I think that he could have done a lot better and forced his rival out.
In the background, that's the Martin of Javed Killer on Ozan. Ozan manages to stay ahead for now, but here we go. Let this slipstreaming begin. Look at how close they are. The two Aston Martins fighting, and at the front of this train, it's looking to go two abreast. Though Jiggs looking to make a move on the Mercedes, but instead he spins out, and instead of Kevin spinning, it's Jiggs. So instead, I gotta do this line. Jiggs, what has happened to you, you dickhead?
Rajic and the Bird are going to go onto his main straight, probably fighting. We might even get a 4 wide moment into turn 1. Maybe not 4 wide, but 4 drivers are in contention for the lead here. Toto follows the Bird to the outside. 3 wide down the front straight. And now it's the Bird and instead Toto fighting over this first position. Can the Williams force the Red Bull out? No, he can't. And Toto bounces over the curbs. That was a very sketchy move, I can't lie. If I was a steward, I'd be all over that, because now the Bird has gone from leading to down to 4th place.
Oh, look at the two Red Bulls go.
2x2 towards the second chicane. This is going to be chaotic if we're not careful. Kevin on the inside assumes the runner's up position, but if I was the bird, I'd be on the phone to our version of Charlie Whiting, aka the stewards, which I think I'm now part of, and I'd be saying, he just completely forced me out. What is he doing? He doesn't have the right to do that, such a thing. It's gravel there.
Well, that's certainly a repeating issue here in Monza. Just the car on the inside going into turn 2, just going in a bit too hot, then I'm just completely forcing the driver on the outside of the track. But look at these four go. Even Mavers, he's just chilling in the background there as well. But here we go, the bird. I mean, he's fueled with anger. He wants his lead back, and I think it starts right here. He goes to the inside. We follow him with a helicopter cam down inside of Rajic at the parabolic. He's going to try and get the better drive and acceleration and run out of the final corner. Then he's got the slipstream of Kevin. Kevin seems to be giving the slipstream to him, and it has certainly worked. But now the bird is going on for Kevin. Kevin's closing up to Toro as well. Kevin on the outside of Toro. Toro positions himself in the middle. Lockups literally everywhere.
When you said that the bird was full of anger, you missed an opportunity to call him an angry bird.
Ah, damn it. I'm going to use it sometime in the race.
Yeah.
He's a blue one as well. Wait, was there a blue? Yeah, there was a blue.
The blue one split into 3.
Yeah, exactly.
3 cars.
3 cars. So Williams racing with 3 cars here tonight.
No, 4 cars because Little Tom's also on there.
Ah, little Tom. Little Tom. That sounds like one of the names that they would have, Little Tom.
Yeah. Goldie XE deciding that he's going to go full backmarker VDRL driver and just decide he's going to get 10 seconds for speeding in the pits.
Oh, here we go then, Kevin. He had a look on Toro there. Toro just manages to stay ahead though. The bird down to P3 there, but he's still looking good. He needs to calm his battery down a bit after that solid attack on Rajika. Was a great move coming out of the final corner and onto the main straight. But Kevin slipstreaming Toro closely. He is right up his gearbox. My goodness, he's practically pushing him through. Yellow flags in sector 1, and once again it is Gold Deeks, and there's a whole gang of cars fighting for P10. Ramos involved in it, as well as Ozan, Marquitios, and Don't Please Zero, and Little Tom for that matters as well. It's 2x2 then. Here we go. The bird goes for the lead. Kevin got past Toro. Now the bird's trying to get past Kevin. Wheel banging once again. This time the bird's being left room, and they're still side by side in the Cava Grande then. Who's got the better top speed? Look at Toro getting involved as well. It's through abreast. This is a great shot for VDRL. Promo or the TikTok. Toro's got the lead back, and what a way to get it back, going into the sector 2 chicane, sent it up the inside, and he's managed to get it done.
Yeah. I will say one thing, the bird, he might be new to this game, but he's definitely not holding back. I have a sneaking suspicion that he's going to be able to win this race, because these guys clearly don't know how he races, and it is allowing him to get into positions. I mean, anyone in the top 6... Anyone in the top 6 really can win. Daniel Llorente has made his way quietly into 6th place, ahead of the 2 McLarens, ahead of Rimas, ahead of those guys around him. He's doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, he was in P10 not too long ago, wasn't he? He got past Jigs, got past Rimas, the 2 McLarens like you said, and he's right there now.
Right, so we've got a race on our hands. The rookies against the establishment of Red Bull and Ferrari, and Mercedes you could argue. But now Kevin has got another chance. Down the front straight, the DRS will allow him, but Bird has decided he's just going to go double speed, 216 miles an hour he's topping out at. Brakes for turn 1, can he get it slowed down? He can! He leads for the first time into a corner legitimately without losing it on the exit. And now we could potentially see, maybe not him pulling away, but definitely I think he could keep this lead under control as Kevin trying to go to the outside. What do you say?
Toro is looking to go to the inside now. He thinks the better of it though. I think certainly the bird's going to pick up the pace now. And if these guys keep it up like this, they might find themselves pitting in a nice pocket of air.
Yeah, Daniel Llorente up to 5th. I think Mayvers has fallen back there. Marquitos gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits excursions. Those could also affect the battle for the leaders. Kevin up the inside, potentially in towards the Ascari chicane. But Bird covers that off, sensibly moves to the middle of a circuit. That's a move I like to use. If you just move to the middle of a circuit, especially on a narrow part of the track, people get scared. They're like, where the fuck do I go? And just stay behind
it. Inside? Oh no, he's just going to close the door on the outside. I'm going to get forced out. Well, here we go. It might be 3 wide there, as Toro thinks the better of it there. But instead, oh, that's close. That's real close. Kevin needs to back out of that move there. but he's going to have a good run. Toro almost off the track. Look at Daniel Lorente then. The RB has come out of nowhere. It's 3 wide between the Red Bull family. The Ferrari's getting involved. There's a whole Gary Costa onto the grass there for a second. Look at this. Kevin down the inside. Rajic down the inside. Daniel Lorente has not got a clue where to go. Kevin almost overshoots it, but manages just to slow the car down with a front right lockup then, as my screen is a literal slideshow. Here we go, side by side then. The bird looking to get past Toro. He's right behind him, but I doubt he'll make a move. But Daniel Lorente letting them know that he is there.
Yeah, Rajic pushing the bird down the straight in towards the chicane. The bird does not relent, so that's good from him to stand his ground against the establishment.
Kevin's been able to get away a bit now.
Oh, he dipped his wheel on the grass though, under braking, and that's going to allow Rajic through. So, cracking under the pressure there, I mean, it's a minor mistake, he's not exactly spun out. And Daniel Llorente, fellow rookie, has decided he's going to turn up on the scene, and he might even try and do a double on the Red Bull as well. He decides to back out of that one, but it's Ferrari, Red Bull, RB. Daniel Llorente is doing what RB wanted Daniel Ricciardo to be doing in real life.
Well, let's just say I completely agree with RB's decision of dumping him.
I do as well.
A bit too late, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. Although I have heard that Lawson might be going to, as the bird has decided to come into the pits to change tyres to, I assume, a set of hards.
Maybe he's trying to undercut him.
Yeah, that, and I think he's going to be completely out of the. I think he's because everyone in front of him is going to be getting slipstream off of each other and DRS. I think there's a chance he could lose out here.
It is the DRS. Is that going to suffice for more lap time than these guys going side by side into every braking zone?
I think so. I can't remember which race it was a couple of races ago. I think it may have been Brazil, where where someone was trying to catch up to someone else, and even at a track like Brazil, which isn't potent for slipstream, I think it was Brazil, and they just couldn't a faster guy and faster tyres couldn't catch up because the other guy was getting like half a second a lap because of DRS. I think that's probably closer to about a second here per lap, so you can afford to battle. I mean, the bird has luckily come out in a bit of room, a bit of free air, but I'll have to keep an eye on the gap to leader. But I don't think he's going to be as good as you might think.
Yep. Oh, well, it's still close at the top of it, and tell you what, if this continues on into next season, boy, am I here for it.
Yep, ultra competitive environment. As Talha and Mavis have decided to make the switch, Rajic is gaining on Kevin, and Kevin is gaining on Toro. Rajic can't get through because Kevin's done the middle of a track move that I like to pull. The Sauber getting out of the way there, lapped on lap 11. Come on, it's a bit of a joke. Like, what is it? An 80-second lap, and you're getting lapped after 11 laps. That means you're about 7 seconds a lap off the pace. You may as well not even turn up. Come on.
And he's got quite a few penalties. Ooh, Toro's sliding out of the sector 2 chicane there. Kevin's right behind him now. Martin, can we go through all battery levels, please? So, Toro is on 40%. Kevin, 60% for Kevin. Rajic is on 44%, give or take. And Daniel is on also 40%. So, Daniel, he should just charge up right now in the DRS and in the slipstream so that they just kind of forget about him. And then come lap 12, 13. Oh, that's huge. That's huge.
I'll quickly go and check the warnings of the other guys. Rajic has one warning and that's it. I'll just quickly check the bird. The bird has none. Rajic has one warning, but Kevin is the only driver who even got close to getting a penalty, and he's now got one. The bird has gained on the leaders, which I'm surprised at.
Has spun again.
3 wide. 2 wide now down the front straight. Rajic assumes the lead. The superb Spaniard takes the lead off of the defending Dutchman. That is a perfect alliteration.
Wow, nicely done.
A news writer would be fapping over that.
Your English teacher is very proud right now.
I don't have an English teacher. I'm 20 years old, mate.
Your former English teacher.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh no!
Bird no. Anyway,
Bird has ended himself, and you can tell the AI is already losing a ton of time. So
Oh
Martin better
no.
invite him.
Anyway, back to the leaders.
He was doing so well as well. Kevin, don't go for moving to Ascari. He doesn't. He's sensible. A sensible Kevin movement is hard to come by. Usually he's being aggressive and spinning every 5 seconds, but he's clearly not doing that. He's learned his lesson. Well, by the time he's learned his lesson, he's going to spin coming out of one of his corners. One of his laps.
Lap 25, he's gonna spin.
Yep. Early on a late safety car restart.
Oh, Sabo straight into the pit lane.
That was really weird. I didn't like that.
I think Kevin wanted to pit, and Rajic is like, hold up, let me cover him off.
Yeah, Daniel Llorente has decided to follow them in. That could be a good idea. Just keeping with the leaders, going on to a set of hards. I think Toto might even be trying to stretch it out to a soft tire, unless he's going to pit this lap. Unless he's going to pit this lap.
I would say it's quite dumb, as tires don't give you a massive advantage around here. Look at Tala. Tala's ahead of them. Tala's in the net race lead, and Tala was right where the bird was before his disconnect. Damien as well. The two McLarens, really good. Damien and Daniel side by side through turns 1 and 2. Daniel is on cold hards. Damien's hards. They're warm. They're hot. They've been sitting in a hot tub without water. That does not make sense at all. But he's trying to get past into the sector 2 chicane, but he's just not fast enough down that Curva Grande.
Yep. If I was Daniel, I'd be doing everything I can to keep this guy behind, because it's just a hindrance otherwise. I know he's fallen a bit off the back of Kevin and co, so he will need to work hard to get back into that range. But when these guys start battling with Talha, who is on older tyres and will start falling off, he will have the opportunity to get back into a leading position. Toto into the pits then, decides to come in, and he's got a 10.
Oh, he does that.
In the pit lane.
That's not what I needed. It seems like he's doing that too much now, and that's where that 17-point gap comes from for Rajic in the championship.
Don't play zero in as well. A guy who was just kind of holding on to onto whatever he had. And Talha then assumes the lead, but Rajic is on his tail.
Oh, Toto's right there, yeah.
Yep, he's got about 10-second time out of the limit.
Yeah, about to go and lap Gold Leaks again. Double walk up for Talha. Wheel banging. And, oh, hello Gold Leaks. Good day, mate.
This guy needs to go, I'm fucking sorry. 2 laps down after 13 laps.
Oh, Rajic goes spinning and drifting into the gravel there. Not sure what happened there. He was ghosted, then all of a sudden he was spinning and drifting away. And he's going to lose so much momentum now. And look at that, in the front, Daniel and Damien banging and barging into the Sector 2 chicane there.
More banging and barging than an interesting video I found on the internet the other day. Well, that felt like a fucking lead balloon, didn't it?
Kevin leads in that, but he's caught that 3 seconds. You could argue Tala is sitting pretty in P2 because it's going to be tough to overtake him, as he will have DRS. Kevin in front of him 3 seconds, Tala behind 10 seconds. I say my money's on either Tala or Daniel.
Another thing though is Talha's clearly underfueled, expecting a safety car.
Oh.
And there's not been one at the moment. So he's going to have to do some fuel saving. I mean, if there's any track you want to do fuel saving at, a slipstreaming track like this, where you can just sit on half throttle.
Ratic into the pit lane.
I'll tell you one thing. That Goldie XC guy needs to be gotten rid of. He was 2 laps down after 15 laps and has now caused a safety car by retiring on his own. Absolutely ridiculous.
I think he crashed out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand sometimes you have a shit race, but to be lapped after 11 laps at Monza was horrific.
And then again...
Equal cars. And he was 7 seconds off in qualifying.
Can you look at his lap times?
He was 7 seconds off in qualifying.
Well, that's the safeguard that Tala needed, and it's a safeguard that Kevin did not really want.
Right, his lap times after lap 1: 1 minute 26, 1 minute 34, 1 minute 30, 1 minute 31. I assume 1 minute 47 because he pitted. 1 minute 28, 1 minute 25, 1 minute 26, 1 minute 38. Like his fastest lap was the lap before he crashed out, and that lap was, I don't know what the fastest lap is at the moment. Let me quickly go and check what it is. It is a his fastest lap was 4.5 seconds off the leader's fastest lap.
Yeah, well, if you look over there to the left, guys, you'll see a whole load of grandstands and a whole load of flags for. I don't know how to cover that up.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see if any drivers are going to decide to change their strategy. Toto is doing so. Toto has decided.
He wants to get rid of that 10 seconds.
Oh yeah, that's also a good point. He's going on for softs, I assume, which will help his charge through the pack. And so is Damian, and so is Remus, not Remus, Mavis. Oh, and Remus as well, of course.
Oh, it's a double stack dynamic. The Bird's AI. Is it the Bird's AI? Because he's back in
P4. It's the Bird's AI. It's the Bird's AI.
Back in P4.
I'm not sure if Martin's tried to invite him yet, but he does need to at some point. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting race. So it does make it interestingly, all those guys have gone for mediums and softs. I'm not sure if they fall off too much.
Oh, well, we get a chance to calm down a bit.
Yep.
Oh, I think I know why Martin pinged me. Yes,
Why?
So ladies and gentlemen, it would be greatly appreciated if you like the stream and subscribe to us. It's just one small click. I mean, me and Nedso, we are absolutely fucking our voices for you here tonight. And join the Discord. That is the hub. That's where the stewarding, the racing, the trash talking, the shouting at each other in VC, even the commentary takes place there. So make sure to join that. And follow our socials, TikTok, Instagram, as I said, YouTube at VD Racing League or just VDRL. Then, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've done this, we have some sponsors, ladies and gentlemen, I remember. So here we go, Rogue Energy, you want to make sure to use 10% off, or to get 10% off, you want to use VDRL1, all caps except the 1. So yep, they make some energy drinks, energy hydration cans, 100% vegan. So yep, nothing to worry about there. Then also Miniature Motor World, once again, to get 10% off your order, use VDRL. And they got some cool stuff. Me and Nedso looked through it quite a while ago now. And finally, and certainly not least, F1 Factory. They also do a bit of the similar stuff to Miniature Motor World, a bit more of that smaller, more attention to detail stuff I'm seeing right now. But yeah, once again, use VDRL Racing for a 10% discount. So VDRL 1 in Rogue Energy for 10% discount, just VDRL in Miniature Motor World, and then in F1 Factory, VDRL Racing for 10%.
Field behind. 5 tenths is enough to, I think, keep the lead into turn 1. Unless he doesn't use any ERS, which is what he's not doing. He's now using it, but it's too late now. He's going to get overtaken by Talhar if he's not careful. Up the inside, into the first corner. Everyone behind is so far behind.
Ooh, but they're side by side so much. Behind. It's not going to end well. It's not going to end well. I've got a literal slideshow right now.
The Aston Martin has spun around. Don't Play Zero got involved in all that. The gap between the top 3 and 4th place was 2 seconds. I don't know who decided that was a good idea. But the likes of Toro and Magic are caught in this pack of cars that have been held up. Javito Killer is a cork in the bottle for these guys. Juanjo gets a 3-second time penalty. I think that's the first of his race. But Damian is now right up behind Javito Killer. And Javito needs to hurry up because he's been the cause of the reason why everyone is so far behind him. Damian is scooped up right behind him. I wouldn't be surprised if he went through into Ascari.
Send it, mate. Go for it.
You can't send a move into Ascari. It's just dangerous to send a move into Ascari. You just can't risk it. But what he can do is maybe get a move into Parabolica, although he would get redone with DRS. As Toro is impatient behind the both of them now. The closing.
Go to Toro.
It's just the guys at the lead are also kind of close together as well. Danielle and
if they start fighting, these guys might have a shot, but otherwise it ain't looking so good. Here we go, Toro on Damien on Jarvito or whatever his name was. I don't remember. I don't have the timing screen up right now. Damien though instead needs to look behind him. You can see all the gravel marks. They're probably all from the bird there.
Damian, what's it called? Oragic has been an absolute ridiculous idiot because all the Toro they're fighting between each other when they should be all working to get past the 4th place guy. They're wasting their time and they're going to lose out. It's going slower in general. Like, look at the gap between Javito and the guys in front of him. It's 2.5 seconds now. They're just losing time hand over fist because, like, oh, let's battle with each other instead of all working together to get past this one guy that's being a cork in the bottle. Work together, you idiots.
Well, they're all absolutely going for it. Once again, the Red Bull, can he get it done now? Yes, he can. The McLaren also gets it done. So that's crucial that Damien gets it done. Rajic tries to follow through as well. And he is side by side with the Aston, which has got 0 battery now. And yep, he's got ahead. So all 3 of them getting past at the same section there.
Yep, but then again now, on a normal circuit, 2.7 seconds would be recoverable. It wouldn't be easy, but recoverable. But since the top 3 are in a DRS train, and it's a track like Monza that has 3 very prominent DRS zones, 2 prominent DRS zones. I thought it had 3 this circuit. I forgot it doesn't. I don't think they're going to catch up. I really don't think that they're going to be able to catch up. At least not before the end of this race in 8 laps' time.
Wow.
Don't Play Zero and Juanjo, I think, have just come together. They have the battle for the wooden spoon. Oh, and Don't Play Zero spun on the exit. That might be a safety car.
Has he crashed out? If he gets
He's
going
not out.
quickly...
He's decided to retire. He's retired in the menus, which is, I don't think, allowed, is it?
No idea. You're a steward, you should know this.
I just look at incidents and tell people wrong all the time. It's great. But
So what would you say? What would you say? Lap 20 out of 27.
I don't really care what lap it is. I think that retiring on track in the pause menu instead of coming into the pits and doing it should be a punishable offence, if it's not already.
Well, Toro is 2 seconds behind Daniel, and Rajic is a further 1 second behind Toro.
Yep.
Marking my stream is a slideshow right now.
That's a bit of a problem. But yeah, the battle for the lead is getting closer. Toro's at the fastest lap. Daniel's going for second place. He's gone for second place on Talha. And now the man who was previously, he started 10th and was very quiet in the early stages of this race, is burgeoning into an amazing little talent here. Can you imagine getting on a podium in your first race? I'm not sure how many drivers...
I've done it.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's you. I did actually. I'm not sure if I did a VDRL before Netherlands last season, but I got P2 in Tier Thursday on my debut.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a quick announcement. Here in VDRL, we don't only do F1 games. I've recently started the VDRL Among Us server. Try and get that back running. I remember I just saw it on my For You page on TikTok randomly, and I was like, damn, that shit was fun. Like, type shit, you know? I was like, you know, fuck it, let's do it. Let's do a VDRL Among Us server. We played a couple of games. We played like 10 games on Sunday. And we'll get to that in a second. And I was an imposter once. So anyone who's in VDRL, free to join. Feel free to join. Either head to the front channel or just message myself, Yalla Boy, and I'll get you in. Me más problemas. Now, Daniel, 3 seconds. What the fuck? You way to bottle a race, by the way.
Now it means that Talha is probably going to finish 3rd on track and still win. I want to check how many warnings he has. But I think he might be going for the lead now. Let me just quickly...
Daniel's going for the lead. Maybe he thinks he has the pace to pull away.
I mean, he could just be trying to get ahead of Kevin just in general because he wants to.
He just did it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he wants to. Like even if he does get a penalty and Talha doesn't, that's instead of finishing 3rd behind Kevin, it's 2nd behind Talha, and Talha has 2 warnings. I'd just like to point out.
Okay, so it's a fully banned for retiring on track.
I mean, Don't Play Zero isn't exactly going to do anything special in qualifying anyway, but yeah, that's pretty slam dunk. But I understand people's frustrations. I've spun out. I'm not going to get anywhere. Retiring on track can often lead to circumstances where a safety car comes out when it shouldn't do. So that's why I think there's so many strict.
Juan has picked up another 3 seconds, I believe.
Yeah, the number Juan with track limits Juan.
Do you think this is the? Do you think Juan will only win Juan Formula Juan World Championship?
1 year.
It's no comment.
Yeah. We need another F1 in F1. My recent YouTube video came out on James Hunt earlier on today, and he's the character we need back. Kevin to the outside. Kevin to the outside. He's reassumed the lead on Daniel Llorente. We have a Ferrari and a V-Carb fighting for the lead, and I think Talha's just lost it. Talha just made a mistake, and he's fallen out of the DRS. He's trying to get back in.
These two can now work together.
Yes, if they can.
If they do it smartly. Yeah, Kevin, push. P-U-S-H. Oh, Talha's in DRS again. Now too late.
Fuck's it. No, he could be losing out again. No, he's back out.
Oh, yeah, he is. He's back out. This is it. Look at that timing screen at the top left of your screen, ladies and gentlemen. Talha 1.08, 1.08, and still here we go. And this is the DRS. So now push. Drain the battery, boys. Drain it. D-R-A-I-N. Drain it.
Yeah, they didn't even do it. They just still pulled one. That's the thing. You just pull a ton of time here. Both of them.
Here they need to do it. Though.
Yeah. Well, if I was them, I'd do what Vinio did too. I can't remember who it was in the GP2 race in like 2013, where they just bump draft each other.
Oh.
If you bump draft, you can do that, and it'll be very useful. Obviously, you can't come up to the back of someone and it was rape their rear end because you're both spinning. But if you were to bump draft each other, it'll be great. And Daniel to the outside, Mavis sets fastest lap of the race all of a sudden. But you know how I was saying about how you can be as fast as the other driver, but if you haven't got DRS, you will just fall behind. That gap was between Talha and them was 1.1 seconds. It's now 1.9.
What happened to Rajic? He was behind Toro, now he's in P7.
I think he was just in the wrong pit stop cycle and just couldn't cycle back.
No. After the pit stop, he was right behind Toro. He was 1 second behind Toro last time I talked about gaps, and that was like lap 19, I think.
I don't know then. He may have got caught.
Oh my god, look at the gap to Talha. 2.5
That's what I'm saying. In 1.5 laps, it's 1.5.
That mistake, that snap of oversteer, may have costed Talha the race win. And he's being put on, if he can work together with Toro to stay in there. Daniel and Kevin work together. That's all I can say.
What they do to work together is get out of the 3 seconds and then they can go for hell for leather and fight each other. That's what we did know.
Lap 26 changed to gap to leader, alright?
As Ozan is 3 seconds, yeah. I mean, actually, Talha is now out of the 3 second window to Kevin, so they could probably, as long as they're sensible about it, could.
Here goes Toro though, and I think there will be a swap at the lead.
Yeah, Kevin's gone through, and Toro goes through on Talha.
Talha's not fighting that too hard. He's actually saving his battery.
Yeah, I mean, the DRS is very powerful down that straight anyway. I wouldn't bother fighting.
Oh, the Mercedes of Mavers giving him a bump there of his gearbox, as now he might lose it to Toro, and Toro kind of needs his DRS to be able to work together with him, because Toro is quick. He's probably quicker than Kevin, but he's not got DRS, and Kevin and Daniel, they can swap, but if they start fighting too much for the race lead, that's where it's curtains.
Yep. Toro is on those better tyres, obviously. Talha was on a different set, always on an older set of tyres, if anything, and now he's just tumbling down the pack. Toro is now keeping that gap a lot more balanced than it was before. I know they're pulling out on the DRS straights. They're doing as much as they can, really, the leading pair. But there's a chance that if Toro can switch it on, never mind. He can catch up, never mind. He can't.
Lovely. Alright, so who's next? Mavers. Can you do something, maybe?
If Vanu's fourth on track wins the race, then that's just going to be that's going to be the worst thing ever.
There we go then. Well, I'm assuming. Let me do some. Okay, so in theory, Kevin will win this race if he swaps next time round, going on to the final lap of the race.
Yeah, but it's not going to work like that, because I bet one of them's going to try and outsmart the other. DRS Chicken will be.
No, they can't outsmart the other, because then Mavis is going to win. Literally, if they lose like half a tenth, I think. Mavis has
won. Not half a tenth. There's 4 seconds between them and Mavis at the moment, and that's going to keep increasing. They can give up about a second in DRS Chicken, but I doubt they're going to try proper DRS Chicken. I think they're just going to be trying to.
No, I've locked up going into the Scottish chicane. By the way, Jigs is in P16, 9 seconds off the Bird.
And Bird is in fucking AI and has been for like half the race.
Kevin's shoulders must be hurting from carrying Ferrari.
That's not very nice. Why don't you be a nice commentator and talk about people kindly like me?
Don't play zero, nice,
Just did you say that Jigs is going into the fastest lap? He's doing the full Daniel Ricciardo.
Oh, Dynafire, I hate that.
Anyway, going on to the final lap of the race. Will Daniel keep it? He's got a lot of ERS, but he doesn't have as much as Kevin.
And then the gap's quite small.
They're gonna burn that like I don't know what. They're gonna burn it like crazy.
Oh, there's a lap car. Jigs is getting involved. Jigs, get out of the way, man.
He's a ghost.
Oh, there's a look up. Kevin looks up and he bangs into the RB. There's more wheel banging in the background. Toto cuts the chicane there, fighting with Mavers. Mavers knows he's fighting for the win now. He saw how hard those guys were fighting going into turn 1, and his wheel banging with Toto Mavers just cost him the race. Jigs gets out the way nicely. No funny business there. In the background, they're still fighting. Mavers, he's pushing. Look at the gap's pretty much 3 seconds from him to Daniel, but he won't have any DRS down this next straight. What's the battery level for Kevin, Martin?
The battery level for Kevin is 20 or is 5% more than Daniel.
Oh, is that gonna be? It's gonna be enough. Or down. Sorry, down the score is gonna be tight. He's got DRS. He's got the slipstream overtake mode, and no rich mix flowing in this year's game. Down the outside he goes, and he can't get that move done. Can he get it on the run to Parabolka behind Mavers? Stays ahead of Toto. Mavers is fighting for a podium, a P2 spot. I think P1 is just out of the question unless these two fight into Parabolka. Kevin has a look, and he goes right there.
What's Kevin doing?
That is a suicidal mission from Kevin.
I'm not sure if that was an intentional try and take out. That was ridiculous. But Daniel's going to win his first race. What a drive from him.
Oh, is he though? Yes, he is. No, he isn't. Mavers gets it. Holy shit. By a 10th.
That was only because Kevin bumped him. That's so unfair on Daniel.
Oh my god.
Kevin should get Kevin should be dropped out of the points. That was a horrendous move from him. That move cost Daniel his maiden win.
His debut win.
That is absolutely ridiculous. Kevin should be dropped out of the points and I don't know, disqualified even. That looked like an intentional takeout.
He was way too far back to try moving to Parabolka.
Exactly.
If you want to make a move in Parabolka, you need to be half a car length ahead at least. You gotta be side by side going into Parabolka if you even want a chance.
And those are the moves that make me feel like Kevin, although he can be fast, he's not on the same level as Toto and Rajak and them lot because he does stupid shit like that. That's just ridiculous.
Well, I'm sure it's bittersweet then.
Yeah. Don't go. Mayverse deserves this all day long because one driver kept it clean. But it's a bittersweet one for Daniel there.
Well, Mavis wins. There's pre-penalties, of course, but you can't give someone less time. You can't say, oh yeah, Daniel won that because he lost time with that. That's very tricky. He gets his debut podium or podium on his debut or whatever you want to call it now.
Yeah.
And P3 is total.
If I was Daniel, I'd be going off at Kevin in the post-race interview, which we're hopefully going to conduct in a couple of seconds.
I doubt Kevin will be in it though.
Yeah, he can still go off at him. He doesn't just because he's not there.
Yeah. Right now he's doing it in chat. He's doing it in chat right now. It would have been P1 except.
Yeah, Mayverse gets a win though with fastest lap. Daniel Llorente finishes P2, followed by Talhat, Kevin, Damian, Toro, Rajic, Remus, Javito, and Frobel rounds out the top 10. Little Tom in 11th, followed by Ozan, Marquitos, Juanjo, the Bird finished a lap down after his AI took over. Jix, also a lap down. Don't Play Zero and Goldie Exever, two Dumb and Dumber of VDRL. Finish in, or they don't finish, they retire in the end. And I think we're going to the interview pen.
Yes, so we'll go to the interviews. Here we go then. Now, who was that place again, Ned? So it was Toto, wasn't it? He's currently sharing his screen in the Red Bull chat, so I'm gonna go shout at him real quick.
Okay, we can do that. I'll stay in here and keep the stream entertained. That was interesting. Have you got him?
I was moved before. I just said get your ass in the interview room. Oh, Tala is P3. Never mind. Okay. Tala, so sorry about that. We'll start with you then, Tala. You did the undercut. Kind of worked out, but then you slowly started to drop back there. Do you think pitting that early was a mistake or not?
To be honest, I don't think so. I think my strategy was fine, and I was looking good for the win. The front two guys had 3 second penalty, but coming out of the first chicane, I snapped and lost the DRS to them and just fall back to the guys behind.
All right. Would you say P3 is the maximum? I mean, you drove a great race. You were always there with the leading pack, but do you think P3 was the maximum that you were expecting going into the race?
Yeah, I hoped a bit more. I think I was capable of winning the race, but a nice podium. I think I'll enjoy that.
Thank you very much. Neto, you got something for him? Or her? Or you got something for they?
I don't, because I was just checking my phone. I thought you were going to do their interviews for Talha. Yeah, but yeah, we don't mean to do the first question for Daniel, because I think that I'd be best to ask this.
Yep.
So Daniel, this is your little opportunity to say whatever you like about Kevin, and no one can say anything bad about you.
Yep. So I think Kevin, like, I caught up to him, and I was a bit quicker around the lap, and we started battling because we both had 3 second penalties, and we were 3 seconds ahead of P3 at the time, which didn't have a penalty, and we had it covered until the last lap where he wanted to punt, like he punted me off the track almost in turn one, which lost us time. And then he was within the 3 second mark, and then we pulled out of it again, and then in the last corner he went for a stupid dive, which caused us both to lose P1. So that's my
Yeah.
comment.
I'm with you on that one. I think that you drove a fantastic race and that you deserved a debut win. Obviously, that didn't come around today. But are you happy with yourself? Are you happy with the way you performed? And do you think that you are close to getting that first win, even just next time out?
Yeah, I'm happy. I think next win is, my first one is definitely on, sometime this season. If I didn't get that 3 second, it was a really stupid penalty. But if I didn't get it, would have been a bit better. But I would say it was a good performance.
Yeah, I was especially impressed. You and the bird were very good until he obviously disconnected. So, obviously, you don't really have many championship implications. You've said you want to win. Let me think of another question that we can give to you. Is this going to change how you race some people? Are you going to give some people a bit more of a wide berth when you come alongside them in side-by-side racing?
Definitely gonna be a bit harder on Kevin. But apart from that, I think it stays the same.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Right, Talha, not Jale. Do you want to take the winner?
Yeah, just Daniel, fantastic race. I mean, not everyone can go from. I mean, you were P10, lap 2, I think, or so. Not everyone can go from P10 to fighting for their lead, and should have won that race in their first race in that said league. So I think it's not a if, it's a when you get your first win, and I'm almost certain it'll happen this season. Phenomenal race. Unlucky at the end there.
Thank you, man.
Now to the winner. I'm not sure if he had any idea of what was going on in front of him or not. Mavers, did you know what was happening in front of you, or were you in your own world fighting with Toto on the final lap there?
I'm sorry, I had to do that. Well,
Is this your first win, or is
Yeah,
that tradition? Oh shit! Congratulations.
Oh, mate, you should ask Remus afterwards. I was literally screaming down the microphone. I last lap I noticed that both of them had 3 second penalties. So I tried on the last lap going towards the first corner to overtake Toro to have the best chance of snatching.
Yeah, I saw that.
P1.
Toto went. He cut the chicane there, didn't he?
Yeah, I know, but I think that was partly my fault. So I understeered into the line, but yeah, I managed to keep Toro ahead for most of that lap. I think, to be fair, having Toro ahead at the final corner and having Slipstream down to P1 were down to the finish line was the main reason I got P1. Having that Slipstream there gave me that extra top speed, and I should kind of thank him in a way. But yeah.
Well, your first win, were you expecting it to come at a place like Monza? Is this one of your strong tracks? I mean, in qualifying, it seemed like you lost it on your final lap there, invalidated or just lost time or something. But were you expecting to win here tonight?
Yeah, I think my final lap in qualifying got impeded by the Sauber, so I couldn't get another lap on the board. But P6 was much better than I was expecting. Given the performance I put in here in the pre-season of season 4, I was expecting to maybe be on the podium. I kind of got that weight off my shoulders of a podium when I realized that Toro and P2 had a penalty, but I did not expect P1 to have a penalty as well. So,
Well,
yeah, P1.
thank you very much to you and the rest of the podium sitters, Tola and Daniel. Congratulations. Thank you very much for joining me tonight with Nedzo as usual. We'll be back in 7 days' time for some more VDRL action. Thank you very much and goodbye.